What's up, guys? For those who don't know me, my name is Jordan. I currently work full-time, work a full-time job from home here, and on the side I also create stickers and enamel pins for my brands. Currently I am preparing for Crunchyroll Expo Melbourne, or Australia. It's their first event in Australia. So I'm just going to take you through some of the process of making stickers and stuff, and yeah, that'll pretty much be it. So I'll just give you an overview of the current setup that I've got. So I have the light, I've got my desk here that I use for printing, cutting, and also weeding stickers. And then over here, it's a bit of a mess, but got my personal computer, two screens, my work laptop, and there's obviously like a couple keyboards and mice here just for work and then for my own stuff. And yeah, sit stand desk, super helpful. Nice office chair. And then on the left we have a storage section. So up here we have all of these stickers that I've got made and ready. And then pins, all of the pin drawers. That's what I take to conventions. And then all of my vinyls here to make stickers. So right now I've already got some stickers cut. If you can see that, holographic Sad Boy Hours stickers. So I just have to weed those ones. I just put them aside. I'm just going to cut everything out first, and then I'll go through and weed them all later. Okay, so the first step to actually create a sticker is to create a design. So you can see I've got some designs here. There's some sold out stickers and stuff that I use for conventions, but essentially we want to create the design, and then to do that I usually use Adobe Illustrator. So either Adobe Illustrator or Clip Studio Paint, as you can see right there. So that's on the tablet. Usually I use this one for more like drawing designs and stuff like that. Whereas all of my kind of text-based die cuts I use the Adobe Illustrator for. But once you've got your design ready, you can basically export that as a PNG. And because I'm using the Silhouette Cameo, I load it up into the Silhouette Studio. That's the software, and you essentially create a page that you're going to cut. So the vinyl that I use here is about 30 centimeters wide. It matches the media size of about 12 inches. So that's what I use there. And then you essentially just want to lay out and import your image or your design, and then just lay it out on the page and use as much space as possible so that you're not wasting material. And if you've done it as a PNG, what you'll see is when you go to send, so send is when you're going to send it to the machine, it will actually show you the red outlines is where it's going to cut. So you'll see how that works later, but I'm using as much space as possible so that I'm not wasting too much vinyl. So after that, you've created your page. I'm going to go ahead and cut out a different one here. So I'm just going to load it up. So I'm going to do holographic drink milk. So that's the one that I've got there. So you will notice that there's no coloring or anything on this one. It's just got the red outlines. If I go ahead and click send there, then you'll see that's going to cut out all of those red lines. And I actually usually put a rectangle or a box around it, so it makes it a lot easier to weed the stickers at the end once it's cut out. So what we're going to do, now that that's ready, we'll go ahead and load up the machine. As you can see, it's ready to load. We'll put the vinyl in there, and I'll show you how I do that. As you can see, I've already cut the vinyl roll down into about 12 by 12 inch squares, and then from here we need to actually load this onto the cutting mat. So I've got my cutting mat here. I'm just going to go ahead and peel the plastic off. That keeps it nice and sticky. Put that down. So I'm just going to show you here. You want to line it up along the edges. So top edge, try and line that up as best as possible. Same with the side edge. And then what I actually use to get it as flat as possible is to use, it's a ruler with a microfiber wrapped around it. And I just use that so it doesn't scratch, but it applies even pressure along, and I just use that to get it as flat as possible without actually scratching the holographic. Now that we've got the actual vinyl ready, we want to go ahead and make sure the machine's on, obviously. If you're using Bluetooth, it needs to be on. I'm using the cord. You want to go ahead and take the dust cover off. Make sure that your actual roll points are wide enough so that it's not rolling through the vinyl, and make sure that it is also tensioned down. So once you've got that, go ahead and line it up. Apply a little bit of pressure just so that it will roll through evenly, and hit the load button. Perfect. So since that is loaded in, you'll see it now says ready. I've got my preset cut settings for hollow vinyl that I created, and we've only got it set to cut half the page here. What we want to do is utilize as much of that space as possible, so I'm just going to go ahead and do that and add some extra stickers to cut. Alright, so I couldn't fit two next to each other, but I've gone ahead and added some Yabai stickers, which are new, just to fill up that space so I'm not wasting that vinyl again. So once we're ready, we'll go ahead and click send. It'll load up, make sure it's all good, and everything's set to cut. Perfect. We'll go ahead and click send. And that'll start its whole process, which I'll put on a time lapse now. Alright, now that that's finished cutting, we'll go ahead and unload. That spits that out. Just pop the cover back on here. Give us some space. You can actually turn that off too. And then we want to take the sheet off of the backing as well. So with vinyl, particularly the hollow vinyl, you want to be careful not to get any folds. Otherwise that will create a weird line on the actual holographic. Sweet, so that's done. You see there's a little bit of a weird spot there, but it's right in between stickers, so it should be fine. Now that that's off, next step is to weed the stickers. So I use this little tool here. It's just like a little curved edge with a little pick point. So I'm going to pick up the edge of the rectangle that I put in there to cut, and then just peel that back and leave the rest of the sticker. So I'll do that in real time for you now for a few, and then I'll probably pop you on the time lapse just so that it is not boring. So as you can see, peel that corner up, and then it kind of comes off pretty easily by itself. Usually just pull on an angle and it will do its own thing. If it gets snagged, I'll just lift the corner like this one here, just lift that a little bit and let it do its thing. So it's super simple. It depends on the design as well, but then I usually just make like a pile of the extra stuff here. And yeah, so I'll do a couple of those and then I'll show you. You can do it super quick most of the time. With this design in particular though, it is super simple. Some of them are more intricate and have smaller pieces, and those can take me a lot longer, which you'll probably see when I do the thick thigh stickers as well. So I'll do one of these as well. So I usually start from one of the corners and pull. As you can see, there's smaller sections here with the Japanese writing. Just got to be a little more careful with those so that it doesn't peel those up, in particular those little sections there. But if I go ahead and pull that, then the drink milk ones don't really have any extra work, you just pull those, but these ones, the design I created, you have to actually go ahead and peel up the inside as well. So what I do is usually try and get in that little gap between the outline and the solid part there and peel it up. Otherwise what you can do is just go ahead and stab that a little bit. Stab it and lift, and it will lift itself as well. So whatever works for you. Go ahead and peel that back. And then there's also a little bit there. And I'll go ahead and get you a little bit of a closer view as well. So this is basically my point of view from where I'm sitting. I'll go ahead and do the rest of this Yabai sticker. As you can see, it starts to tear there if you don't quite get the edge up. See how it's tearing? But you can usually just get around that. Go ahead and lift those center bits up. Now when I'm doing them in bulk, I'll do them in a weird order, and I'll do like the same step of each sticker first, and then go back and go over each and then repeat. But just for this one, I'll do it all as we go. So there's a little part in the Japanese there. Half the time with the holographic, it just like spits out and flies somewhere. Cool. So that's what that one looks like as compared to the single block. Obviously, I'd have to go and get these little bits as well. And yeah. So then once I've done all of these, you'll see I'll do it in the video as well, is to just peel all of this outline off, and it'll only leave what we're going to keep. So I'll put you on a time lapse now, and yeah, we'll see you when we're done. So I figured I'd bring you back to real time just for this part, because I was talking about it earlier. So I just go ahead and peel up the edge there, and peel, and we'll get that bottom edge as well. Just peel off all of that excess, like that. So what we're left with is just the stickers, and we're ready for our transfer paper or transfer tape. So this is the scariest part of the process for me. We've got our stickers here, obviously. I'm just going to pop them to the side for now. And then I like to use my cutting board as the base, because the desk I have isn't exactly like perfectly flat. It's got texture to it, so this is a lot more smooth and will hopefully get us less problems and less bubbles. I've got my transfer tape roll here. That's what it is there. I'm looking for a stickier transfer tape, but this is what I've got for now. So go ahead and essentially peel back the paper or the tape, and I just roll that out as far as I can, and get it to line up as best I can with the actual section here. So go ahead and adjust where you're sitting. Yeah, so like I said, this is the scary part, because this is where you can get air bubbles, this is where you can mess up. So I just try to make that as flat as possible. And then you want to go ahead and give this like a blow or a dust off, just so that you've got no, or as little as possible, hair, dust, or anything. Yep. And then essentially what I want to do is line this up with the tape. I'm going to line up along the edge, and then when I'm doing that, I'm going to go ahead and use just a normal ruler to push all of the air and basically get it as smooth as possible. So I'll do that, line up the edge now. There we go, and then we're committed. So then just want to use your fingers for that first little bit, just to attach it. And then the key is to keep tension so that this is flat, and doesn't get all messed up. And then you want to push with this at the same time. So I'm going to have my thumb down here keeping tension, and then use this to push the actual stickers down, just like that. So the actual cutting mat underneath isn't quite the same width, so I'm just going to head and move that over and squeegee that down. And then same for this edge as well. So we turn this over, so you can see we don't really have any like air bubbles or weird things going on. So now that we've got that, I'll just go ahead and use my little knife here to run along the edge and cut the transfer tape roll off. Seal that back up, pop that to the side, and just give it another once over. Don't mind the knife rolling there. Give another once over just to smooth things out. You want to usually start from the center of the piece and push towards the edge just to get the bubbles out if there are any. So we'll do that. Get it as smooth as possible. Cool. And then we'll move on to the next step, which is cutting. So I used to do this part manually, just with the knife, and I would kind of use the cutting thing to cut it. But if you're making stickers, I would highly suggest getting a paper cutter. This one is like an A4 and it can fit the full width of the A4, so technically you can use it for A3 if you're cutting it in half. But you pretty much just, I usually start with the edges, and I'll just go ahead and line up the edges, trim off any excess, and do that now. Just try to line everything up as best you can. Looks good. Hold down the center. And there we go. We've got that extra tape and a little bit of the excess white space off. Go ahead and pop that in the bin. And then I'll quickly repeat that for all the other edges. Cool. Now that we've done all the edges, what I'll go ahead and do is just separate this section here. Get that so that we can work with each sticker separately. Cool. May as well do the yabai first, just to give you a demonstration, and then I'll do a time lapse for all of the drink milk. But we've got the 4 stickers here. The tops are pretty much good, the bottoms are good, the sides are good, so we're just gonna go ahead and separate them down the middle of each. So you can use the grids on the actual thing here to help in lining up. You can use the top as well, but sometimes the top doesn't seem to line up perfectly, so just be careful. And this gap here is super tight, so you want to get it right the first time. Go ahead and commit to that. And we've done it right there. Haven't cut over the actual vinyl, but pretty close. Same with this part. A little more room on this, and that looks okay there. And one more. Awesome. So that's already 4 yabai stickers made, and those are good to go. So I'll go ahead and pop you on the time lapse, and we'll do all of those drink milk ones. And it's as simple as that. So we've got those with the holographic. We've got them in other colors as well, but obviously today we did the holo. And what I'll do next is I'll go ahead and update my inventories in the backend for my website and for my sale stuff for conventions. And I'll be good to go. If you made it this far in the video, just wanted to say thank you for watching. If you can, go ahead and leave a like. That would mean a lot to me. If not, it's all good. If you can leave a comment on any stuff you want to see, I do plan to make more videos in regards to stickers, as well as some car content, and then conventions and stuff, because I think it'd be good to give you guys some insight into what actually happens in the life of those who do conventions and stuff. So yeah, that was just a quick video today on stickers, creating stickers. Yeah, got some ideas, but let me know. Thank you for watching.